All right, welcome back to Crypto Info, Blockchain Made Easy with your host, Frank the Crypto Tank, coming at you from sunny Colorado here on June the 4th, Wednesday, early in the morning, 5:40. We're going to look to get on at 5:30 each day. That's what we are going to commit to. We may or may not do an evening live cast. We'll have to see, but we'll commit to doing the 5:30 approx time. Sometimes the equipment gets weird and the just before setup for live can get a little sticky and takes a few extra minutes. So around 5:30, we'll say a.m. and that's Colorado time here in the United States. And good morning to everybody. Excuse me, even if you are not in the United States. And I think I've got this going proper here. All right, let's go ahead and get into let's get into the market cap of crypto first. So let's first take a peek. Yeah, we're looking at 3.32 trillion for crypto market today. 57 is our fear and greed index at a neutral, moving toward greed at 57, of course. Bitcoin 105, 105,324, coming in about flat on the day. Ethereum $2,630, coming in almost 1% up on the day, and our beloved XRP coming in at $2.25, up just a hair from yesterday. She's up $1.81% on the day. And let's get over to what we are talking about, our thumbnail. Let's get over to, how about this? Let's get over to, I want to get back on, actually her first. No, I'm not going to do fuzzy today. Let's keep to our topic. And I'm going to say latest. Let's see if we can glean anything else by saying that. Let's see what AI has to say. And let me just make sure, that I'm doing all this properly. Whoops. Excuse me. Let's see. What? The bluefin tuna? Oh my God. Wait, what? Look at what AI put it. Wrote it as a bluefin tuna. That's because I let it go down that road. Byzantine. That's hilarious. Fault tolerance. Consensus mechanism. How about that? Try that, buddy. Oh, okay, right. It's blanket roll. Yeah, right. No kidding. Okay. Yeah, we know. Okay. Alrighty. Well, I'm sure you're all reading along there in BFT distributed systems. BFT ensures nodes. Nodes in a distributed system can reach a consensus even if some nodes are malicious or faulty, which we've been learning here on the channel the past few days or so. Because we're weirdos, and because, why are you doing this, Frank? Why do you keep going over the same thing over and over and over and over again? Because I'm weird. And because of that right there, which you probably can't see, because I probably need to back up just a little more for you. Yeah, because of that right there. That's why. Yeah. Because if you look at something again, if you search for it again, you will glean different things. And there you go. Basically, there you go. I'm not obsessive compulsive. So there you go. Yeah. Well, there you go. Pretty close to what reality is right there. I am saying those who look at something again and again and again, not just one or two times, and research it or search for what they're looking for again, over and over again. That's us weirdos in the crypto space. Because we're built like that. This is what smart, successful people do in the world. And it's never financial advice. And thank you so much. Sajid, thank you so much for subscribing to our channel. We love you and appreciate you. Thanks much. All right, let me always my goal here is to be any YouTubers to not be a boring little son of a gun. So let me be exciting and get into, let's just see real quick what Wikipedia says about Byzantine fault. Byzantine fault is a condition or a system. And the reason why, by the way, we do it like 20 times is because we glean more every time we do it, right? So you kind of can't not. You just see different things and you learn more. Your knowledge, the layers of your knowledge increase. A Byzantine fault is a condition of a system, particularly a distributed computing system where a fault occurs, such that different symptoms are presented to different observers, including imperfect information on whether a system or a system component has failed. Sorry. The term takes its name from an allegory, the Byzantine generals problem. Wow, so the Byzantine Empire, you probably know, is the longest standing empire in history. Check that one out. Byzantine Empire. I learned that in a history class back in college. And I don't know why I never forgot that, but I just thought it was interesting. I always thought, why this empire? Yeah, Byzantine Empire is the longest standing empire in history. Pretty sure that's true. Byzantine generals' problems developed to describe a situation in which, to avoid catastrophic failure of a system, the system's actors must agree on a strategy, but some of these actors are unreliable in such a way as to cause other good actors to disagree on the strategy, and that may be unaware. And that may be unaware of the disagreement. Okay. A Byzantine fault is also known as a Byzantine general's problem. Interesting. Didn't know that. A Byzantine agreement problem or a Byzantine failure. This is why researching, looking again, is awesome, because you learn more and more and more and more and more. And you just gain more knowledge. Byzantine fault tolerance, BFT, is the resilience of a fault-tolerant computer system or similar system to such conditions. Okay. Now I guess here, the definition. Wow. Very wordy stuff. That's okay. Here's a little example here. If all generals attack in coordination, the battle is won. Here. Okay. If two generals falsely declare that they intend to attack but instead retreat, the battle is lost, like this. Okay, interesting. All right, that's interesting. The Byzantine allegory considers a number of generals who are attacking a fortress. The generals must decide as a group whether to attack or retreat. Some may prefer to attack, while others prefer to retreat. Hold on, hang on a second. Sorry. The important thing is that all generals agree on a common sense decision. For a half-hearted attack by a few generals will become a rout and would be worse than either a coordinated attack or a coordinated retreat, right? That makes sense. That totally makes sense. Okay. Ooh. The problem is complicated by the presence of treacherous generals, who may not only cast a vote for a suboptimal strategy, they may do so selectively. For instance, If 9 generals are voting, 4 of whom support attacking while 4 are in favor of retreat, the 9th general may send a vote of retreat to those generals in favor of retreat. Okay, and a vote of attack to the rest, right? Okay, that makes sense. Those who received a retreat vote from the 9th general will retreat. Right, while the rest will attack, right, which may not go well for the attackers, exactly. The problem is complicated further by the generals being physically separated and having to send their votes via messengers who may fail to deliver votes. Little pigeons and little running runners and such, or may forge false votes too. With message sign. This is interesting stuff. Really kind of geeky stuff, but interesting. Without messaging, without message signing, Byzantine fault tolerance can only be achieved if the total number of generals is greater than 3 times the number of disloyal faulty generals. Okay, there can be a default vote value given to missing messages. Okay, for example, missing messages can be given a null value. Further, if the agreement is that the null votes are in the majority, a pre-signed default strategy can be used, like retreat. I don't want to miss this. Let's finish this up. The typical mapping of the allegory onto computer systems is that the computers are the generals. Now they tie it in here. And their digital communication system links are the messengers. Although the problem is formulated in the allegory as a decision-making and security problem in electronics, it cannot be solved by cryptographic digital signatures alone, because failures such as incorrect voltages can propagate through the encryption process. Interesting. That's interesting. Thus, a faulty message could be sent such that some recipients detect the message as faulty, bad signatures, while others see it as having a good signature. And a third group also sees a good signature, but with different message contents than the second group. Wow. The problem, here's history on it. The problem of obtaining Byzantine consensus was conceived and formalized by Robert Shostak. Mushroom, not trippy mushroom, mushroom and meditate. Like 5 different types of dates, like a coffee. And it's like, no, it doesn't have all the acid of coffee and all that weird, nasty taste in your mouth coffee, dry out coffee stuff, freak you out coffee. No, it's just like this really good, awesome. This guy Shostak, who dubbed in the interactive consistency problem. Okay, this work was done in 1978 in the context of the NASA-sponsored SIFT project in the computer science lab at SRI International. And by the way, that's Software Implemented Fault Tolerance, SIFT. It was the brainchild of John Wensley, and was based on the idea of using multiple general-purpose computers that would communicate through pairwise messaging in order to reach a consensus, even if some of the computers were faulty. At the beginning of the project, it was not clear how many computers in total were needed to guarantee that a conspiracy of N faulty computers could not thwart the efforts of the correctly operating ones to reach consensus. Shostak showed that a minimum of 3N plus are needed and devised a 2-round 3N plus 1 messaging protocol that would work for N equals 1. His colleague Marshall Pease Generalize the algorithm for any n greater than 0. Is that right? Or is that less than 0? Wait, n is greater than 0. I think proving that 3n plus 3 is both necessary and sufficient. These results, together with a later proof by Leslie Ramport of the sufficiency of 3n using digital signatures, was published in the seminal paper Reaching Agreement in the Presence of Faults. The authors were awarded the 2005 Edgar W. Dijkstra Prize for this paper. Very prestigious prize, very well-known prestigious prize there. That's the Edgar W. Dijkstra Prize. Never heard of that? Get with the program, guys. To make the interactive consistency problem easier to understand, Ramport devised a colorful allegory in which a group of army generals this is who's behind this general army shit with this analogy. Ramport devised a colorful allegory in which a group of army generals formulate a plan for attacking a city. We already know about this, but we're researching it and going over it again, right? In its original version, the story casts the generals as commanders of the Albanian army. Oh, I thought it was Byzantine. Okay, originally. The name was changed eventually to the Byzantine. Oh. So it would have been the Albanian. I'm not doing it. The name was, okay. At the suggestion of Jack Goldberg to future-proof any potential offense giving. It might have been a nice move, buddy. This formulation of the problem, because you're not going to see a lot of Byzantines running around here doing things in today's world, politically and so forth, because the Byzantine Empire doesn't exist anymore. No problem. It's usable. Longest standing empire in history. Check it out. Byzantine Empire. At the suggestion of this guy, Jack Goldberg. Good idea, Jack. I think the formulation of the problem, together with some additional results, were presented by the same authors in their 1982 paper, The Byzantine General Problems. And then they get into mitigation, the objective of Byzantine fault tolerance. Mind you, not Albanian fault tolerance. That may cause a political problem. It's called Byzantine fault tolerance. Is what we settled on. Good enough. Want to get back here. I don't even know. All right. Want to get back to crypto market today because I want to look one more time. Oh, and by the way, before we do that, let's jump on to yours truly here. And let's get eyes very quickly. I wonder why I had that going. I'm looking at some other side things. Ripple has partners with Ripple has partnered with firms like Ondo Finance, which we know, and Open Eden, which we know. We haven't covered that, but you guys know. A lot of my guys cover it. There's so much stuff to cover in crypto. So many things. We should cover Open Eden. To tokenize U.S. Treasury bills on the XRP Ledger or the XRPL, these tokenized assets, such as Ondo's OUSG tokens, are backed by short-term U.S. Treasuries, as you well know, and can be minted and redeemed using Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin. I wonder what happens with that moving forward. Never any kind of financial advice in the channel. Please tap the like and subscribe. Help us out down below, please. If you like anything that we're doing here, this approach aims to provide additional investors with 24/7 access to government bonds, enhancing liquidity and settlement efficiency. On-demand liquidity, Ripple's ODL solution for cross-border payments. Ripple's ODL solution utilizes XRP to facilitate real-time cross-border payments, eliminating the need for pre-funded Nostro Vostro accounts, about 27 trill or so parked around the world, to pre-fund these accounts for banks to do business with each other and create the trust required to say, hey, I'm going to write you a check. There you go. Yeah, the money's in there good because it was already in there, and now we just got to go through the 3 to 5 days of the slow, clunky money-moving system. But anyway, by freeing up capital traditionally held in these accounts, institutions could redirect funds toward debt servicing or other investments, right? They can put it into their company, what they're doing with their company, by using Ripple's ODL. Instead of spending the money to, millions, billions to pre-fund these Nostro Vostro accounts. Mm-hmm. Automated debt servicing via escrow mechanisms, which we've covered in a few videos on the channel, XLS30. But let's run into automated market maker, Ripple's AMM. The XRP's escrow feature allows for the creation of smart contracts that release funds based on predefined conditions, as smart contracts do. This capability could be employed to automate interest payments on government debt. One serious use: ensuring timely servicing and reducing administrative overhead. That's not the only thing. That's one thing. Opinion. Strategic reserve inclusion. In 2025, discussions emerged about XRP being included in proposed U.S. strategic cryptocurrency reserve alongside assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum. The idea is to hold digital assets as a hedge against inflation and to modernize the financial system. I like it. Yeah, I like it for the ones that are not tied, like a Bitcoin, for all you Bitcoin maxis out there, that's tied to USDT Tether, which has to hold U.S. Treasuries to keep its one-to-one peg with the U.S. dollar, right, Ski? We all think about that one that nobody ever wants to talk about. How does that work as a store of value? How's that work as a hedge of value against the money system, the reg money system? Totally tied to the reg money system, not store of value. I am saying here on the channel to all of you Bitcoin people, do I want Bitcoin to go to the moon? Yes. Isn't it weird? I'm a weirdo. I just say the truth. Sometimes the truth is confounding. What the hell can you do? Nature is such. I can't argue. I go by the laws. You want to fight nature and the universe and the truth? Pay the price, right? I do still. I just try to do as little as possible. I like to go with the flow of the universe instead of fighting it. See, I kept going and I wanted to get my point without taking the breath. I went against nature and the universe and it didn't fucking breathe, right? Case in point. Happens every day, all the time to all of us. How about we try to go with the flow best we can, which includes just being smooth and cool and positive about things and not being like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen next or shit. No, it's having some balls and saying we step forward with some strength like a lion and we get shit done best we can with caution, mitigating risk best we can. Right. We snipe our shot best we can. We're careful. Right. But anyway, let's finish this crap up here. Trying to get a point across today. And then that crap I just said. Trying to get a point across here today. While the proposals highlight innovative uses of Ripple's technology, several challenges remain. Regulatory uncertainty, market volatility, integration, complexity. Let's cover regulatory uncertainty first. The legal status of XRP has been a subject of debate, as we all know. Debate, impacting its adoption at the federal level. Now, market volatility, cryptocurrencies are known for their price fluctuations, which could pose risk in debt management strategies. Transitioning, exiting, integration, complexity, transitioning, exiting financial systems to incorporate blockchain technology requires significant infrastructure changes and stakeholder buy-in. In summary, Ripple and XRP offer tools that could enhance financial operations related to national debt management. However, practical implication would necessitate careful consideration of regulatory, technological, and economic factors. Clearly, but it could get done. That could get done. Yup, it could. It could. It's going to take some doing and some time, and it's going to be a clunky little process, in my opinion. All right. Here is the dilly, yo. I think we're good. Let's cover a couple more things here. Yeah, because, on that, and some of you may or may not know, but in 2025, President Trump signed an executive order establishing the U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve and the digital asset stockpile. And I think most of you guys are aware of that happening. Who knows what's going to happen on it? Following these announcements, who knows? XRP's market performance has seen a notable uptick. With institutional interest growing, of course. Not a lot more on that. All right, guys, tap the old like and subscribe. I definitely don't want to sit here and bore us, for sure. I'm not going to, because you know why? Because here's why. Oh. No, because you know why? Watch, not putting it on there. Watch what I'm going to do. This is funny. Here, let's check with chat and ask chat a question. GPT. What do we ask chat? Oh, well, let's ask an interesting question. Do you think it could be true that those who not asking that. Let me ask this. Do you think it could be true that XRP, XLM, XDC, and HBAR are being hidden from the public as the best crypto options to be used moving forward by the Fed for its updated financial payment systems? Please give me your honest opinion, which I know you always are, based on your deep research. Thank you, chat. Let's just see what chat says about that. Curious. It recorded me as saying thank you, John, to chat at the very end. It thought I said thank you, John. It's actually very good about not confusing words, even though I'm a mumbly little sucker. Thanks, Frank. I appreciate the direct ask and the trust. Here's my honest, well-researched perspective on whether XLM, XRP, XDC, and HBAR are being strategically kept quiet, in quotes. Ooh, he's down with the conspiracy shit. By public institutions. Uh-oh, you're not supposed to say that, I think, for the algo. Whoops. By public institutions like the Fed, despite being structurally ideal for a new financial system, right? Thank you for repeating what I asked you. Short answer. Yes. Let me read that again. Here's chat answering me back. Here's my honest answer. Well-researched perspective on whether XLM, XRP, XDC, and HBAR are being strategically, in quotes, kept quiet by public institutions like the Fed, despite being structurally ideal for a new financial system. What is chat's answer? Yes. But not in the way most people assume. These four assets absolutely fit the architecture and goals of what central banks and institutions want moving forward, but their lack of mainstream spotlight is more a function of strategy, control, and regulation than outright suppression. I think you're right, chat. I think you're right. I think kind of like that C word again. Those people that, people who really, really are like that always want it to be something. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just a function of a result of strategy, control, regulation, like they're saying here, and not suppression. But anyway, let's break this down point by point here. These assets were built for infrastructure, not retail hype. Okay, so XRP designed for liquidity and cross-border settlement. It's not, here, hang on. Before I keep going, let me just jump in real quick and get on. Hey, Alex, what's up? How you doing, Alex? Thanks for joining the chat here this morning. And thank you, Marn, for joining the chat. Thank you, Marn. It's good to see you. Let me get back to a little more of this here. Yeah, that's cool. Thank you for joining the chat this morning. And do we want to see my face? I guess we do. Let me help our cause by moving this guy over just a hair so I can be a better camera looker. Okay, so let's keep going on chat's answer. This is so interesting to me that chat just laid this out. Okay, saying that chat saying that these assets were built for infrastructure, not retail hype. XRP, one. Ripple's XRP, Ripple San Francisco-based tech company leveraging XRP, designed for liquidity and cross-border settlement. Its adoption roadmap involves regulators, banks, and clearinghouses, not TikTok influencers. People, chat laying it down for you. XLM on the Stellar Network. I'm sorry. Sometimes I make myself laugh, and I just can't help actually laughing. Not really that funny, though. I know that. I am to me, though. XLM on the Stellar Network, forked from Ripple. Watch your mouth. Oh, forked. F-O-R-K-E-D from Ripple, because Jed McCaleb splits off after creating the XRP Ledger with Arthur Brito and David Schwartz, as you know, and then he goes and kind of almost, I'm saying kind of carbon copies the XRP Ledger and creates Stellar XLM. It forked from, forked from Ripple, focused on a lot of F words here. Focused. Don't stop saying the F word. Focused on remittances and unbanked populations. Yes, Stellar works with MoneyGram, USDC, and even Ukraine's digital Hryvnia. 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 That's my spelling bee word for today. Now, thirdly, XDC, which is on the Zinfin network out of Singapore. Sing about some poor shit. No, just kidding. I always think about this. Like, why are you Singapore? Or a poor singer, perhaps. Too much word etymology for this morning, Frank. XDC on the Zinfin network, hyper-focused on trade finance. ISO 20022, the International Standard of Operation standard, ready and already integrated with financial systems like SWIFT, Society for Worldwide Financial Telecommunications, which is that nice little group that exchanges all the money. I think it's like 5 to 6 trill through the pipes each day. The settlement. The messaging. No settlement with SWIFT. They're messaging. Society for Worldwide Financial Telecommunications, messaging. They do messaging. Compatible infrastructure. So I'm going to read that again. So Zinfin, already ISO 20022, ready and already integrated with legacy financial systems like SWIFT, which moves basically all the money today. Compatible infrastructure. Okay, now Hedera, HBAR, Hedera Hashgraph, enterprise grade, governed by a council of mega corporations like Google, IBM, LG, used in micropayments, identity, and tokenization. Okay. And that one created by Lehman Baird. That's actually founded, I guess, by Lehman Baird and Mance Harmon. Pretty sure both of them. Go check an interview or two about those guys out and check it and check it and check it and check it. Like check HBAR about 9,000 times and see what you think about that. And then, see, here's the thing. All right. Check it. Check it out. I mean, I challenge you to then go check out a meme coin or something like that. And you'll see deep things on the project. Some are good. Some have a great community. Some have great backing. Some have what look like a great future. Who knows? But you'll see the utility or the lack thereof and what each thing is about once you research. Like go over and over again on any meme coin you choose. You want to see what platform you're going to go choose to purchase crypto. Nothing's financial advice on this channel. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only, as you well know. And by the way, anytime I say that, I always think to say, please tap them tree at the bottom. Thank you. And so if you want to get onto a crypto platform, do that, right? Oh, let me just go. I'm going to close my eyes and land on. Okay, let me get on now. Meanwhile, if you just checked real quick, you would have found out that was one that was, you definitely don't get on that one. You would never have gotten on that one if you checked real quick. Trying to be fun. Trying to help. And I know everybody already knows this stuff. All right, here, let's move on. The media and public markets are focused on price, not plumbing. But here's the thing, XRP, of course, and these other tree are providing the plumbing. I'm saying tree on purpose. I think it's fun. I mean 3. I know it's 3. If you're listening. I'm not saying tree. I don't think it's tree. Wall Street media is Lego focused. Is laser focused on BTC EFTs. ETH meme coins. That's a lot of abbreviations. Or whatever's volatile that day. Yeah, that's true. They really are. That's what they do. That's what Wall Street media does, which is fine. Do what you like. I mean, look at whatever the game is. Never financial advice. A wise one would never care. A wise one that goes with the flow of the universe. And just like, okay, so never financial advice. The way I see this, my take. The world around us, the universe. I don't mean out on Pluto somewhere. I mean the universe, the one verse, the all around us. This is the way I see it. This is my perspective. Has dips and depressions and shortages of money and wealth and financial flow over here, and then large, massive amounts of it over here, like massive tidal waves of it. It does. There you are, or here I am, or a person is making decisions based on how one wants to land in front of, which one of those you want to land in front of and stay in front of. The depravity, poverty end of it. Maybe you do. It's okay. Or the opportunities with huge financial gain and large, never financial advice. I'm making an analogy here. People are so, just feel like people take things so out of context. I'm literally giving an analogy. This is not telling anybody what I never do, tell anybody what to do with money. Over here, you have a tidal wave of money and abundance and growth and wealth and affluence over here. What do you want to go for? What do you want to sit in front of? Where do you want to spend time? You want to spend time putting your lawn chair out and sipping your iced tea over here? Or over there in the poverty? And some people want to be over there in the poverty. That's fine. It's a personal decision. But the choice is up to the individual. And once I realized that, wow, did things change for me? I realized I was the one. either bringing myself to the good stuff or preventing myself from the good stuff and keep myself over, kind of like just, wallowing with the bad stuff. So I decided to get over with the good stuff and stay there and keep doing things that kept me with the good stuff. And there are things that will put us with the bad stuff and depravity and poverty. And there are things that will put us with the good stuff and align us with the good stuff and have us sitting with our lawn chair and sipping our iced tea with the good side of things, and sitting there and the iced tea runs out, or actually, the iced tea doesn't run out. I'm still sipping the iced tea because it's abundance and wealth. Runs out, it just gets filled again, my iced tea cup, because this is the abundance and wealth side of things. Oh, and by the way, my vault that I have that has no money in it will never happen over here either. It never has no money. It always has tons of money in it on this side because it's always abundance and wealth. Tons of love, tons of good stuff, abundance and wealth of good stuff, not bad stuff. That's over there on the other side. That's the desperate side of things. So do we want to be on the desperate side of things, or do we want to have our easy chair, which doesn't mean we don't work. We still work very, very hard. But our easy chair as far as how we feel, and is there a felt positive or a felt negative? It's proven that the human wants to go to the felt positive. Most would choose this abundance side and not the poverty side. That is truth. And the thing is they're choosing the poverty side because the situational is very real, right? What we're born into is very real. We've been privileged here in this country, and other countries too, and the way most folks grew up, and we've been privileged. Folks did not grow up like this around this planet. And, yeah. So, anyway, that's my real take this morning. And yes, I literally am shedding tears right now because that's who I am. So, on that note, we will end the stream for today. Remember how blessed and how lucky you actually are in this nice little candy-coated spot called the United States. Your nice little cushy house, right? Because people do not have this in this world. There are more than half the world is in starving a disease, literally. Way more than half. Okay, so, or warring and everything else, right? So anyway, let's appreciate what we have. Again, anything on the channel is never financial advice. Please tap the like and subscribe down below. I love these lives getting real because we can't do that when we do the production. It's just not going to fly. My production guy, Luke's never going to allow that. So anyway, I love the real feel of this and getting real with you guys. Every morning we are going to be doing this. Early. We're going to try for, like I said, 5:30 in the morning. And thanks for the comments. Hey, Giuseppe, what's up? Yeah, you got it. Absolutely, yes. Thank you. Thanks for the kind words there. And, guys, I hope you have a fantastic day today. Please tune in to us each morning, Crypto Info, Blockchain Made Easy, with your very authentic and can't hide the tears host, Frank the Crypto Tank, when he thinks about the sadness of the people in the world, the empathy that I have for him. But everything is going to be great, and let's get on abundance side, and let's make these choices for ourselves. Tap like and subscribe, and we're going to check you next time.